Hi, this video is to talk about my tonsillectomy. I decided to do a little video because during my research preparing for the surgery, I read and watched videos and blogs, and I was terrified, quietly terrified, excuse me, when I went to go and have the surgery. So this is just an uplifting, encouraging video just to say that everyone obviously is different and reacts to things differently, responds to things differently. And here's my take on it. So I had my surgery June 29, 2012. Today's date is July 8th, 2012. When I woke up from surgery, up until now, I woke up coughing because of the tube, the breathing tube that they had put down the throat. Excuse me. I've been doing that since I woke up. That is what I remember waking up from surgery, is having this cough, and I've had it, and it's rough, and it's congested, filled, green, like yuck. That was my number one issue, because it was coughing and wheezing, and because of having the surgery and already being swollen, I felt like my airway was being obstructed. My pain level wasn't that bad. I had a nurse who kept asking me what it was, and if I said anything besides 0, she gave me a shot, so that was really good. Went home, everything was fine. Swallowing the medication, I think, that night was the worst. I don't know if it maybe because of how the elixir is. It felt like actually everything I drink feels like it's gonna come through my nose, but that was the worst thing to try to drink. Excuse me. But the pain level was managed. The first night, the second night was okay. I read a lot about sleeping, how people, had to sleep either in a chair or inclined. That I did agree with. Tonight is actually my last night. Was my second night sleeping in the bed. All week long I had slept out in the living room on my couch, and that was good. And I slept every 4 hours. I read in a blog that people usually slept for every 4 hours because you take the pain medication, go to sleep, and as it wears off you would wake up. So that I found to be also true. But so that's that. I haven't gotten to, they said they gave me days like 1 to 3, you'd be fine, it wouldn't even seem as a big deal, and then 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 would be your worst days, peak days. I haven't had that. The pain that I have had has been consistent, and it being consistent, I've been consistent with my pain meds. A couple of days ago, because I had run out of the narcotics, I started using Motrin excuse me, as a waiting period. But as soon as I started using the Motrin, it really started to work out well. The uvula was so swollen, like you couldn't even see the bottom of it swollen. So that helped it. The Motrin absolutely helped it. Excuse me. So now I make sure to take at least 800 milligrams once a day. Excuse me. Along with my lower tab elixir, and it works out well. The scabs have been falling off, but when I was reading the blogs, I thought that okay, the scab would fall off, it'd be one thing at a time, or one side at a time. The way my scabs have been falling off are like little pieces of it just in your mouth, or or I guess swallowing and not realizing it, but these little things just start coming up my mouth, and I'm chewing on something, and it's a part of the scab. So I've noticed that these little pieces have just been coming off, so the scabs are not as thick as it was in the beginning. So really, that's my experience. It's been 9 days since the surgery. Yesterday I started talking regular, like now. I think the tone might be a little deeper or a little bit off, but I'm talking. I feel fine. I feel fine with talking. And I just took the medicine and Motrin, so right now I feel really good. Excuse me. Drinking some tea. My other biggest issue is that I have not moved my bowels since the day before surgery. And I told my mom that I wanted to get Miralax when I got they filled my scripts from the hospital, just because I know that I don't do well with taking narcotics at a routine for a slight period and not being able to move my bowels. So that is what I'm working on now. I started taking some stool softeners, but days ago I started drinking the Miralax and no effect. So I hope that is okay, because they said that the one thing I do agree with, again, with the blog, is if you're constipated and you're trying to move your bowels, and when we try to poop, we make that grunting noise, and that grunting noise will cause discomfort. Oh, last thing, I didn't want this video to be that long, but the very, very last thing I think is yawning. Up until today is Sunday. Today's Sunday. I started having to yawn on Friday night. So 1 week completely from the surgery. Excuse me. And I can't yawn. It hurts. It hurts to even begin to stretch when you start to feel a yawn to come. I can't. So I wonder when I'll be able to do that. But besides that, I'm going to take a couple more days just to get myself together, and just so that if I do happen to go finally hit that peak, when the scabs do finally come off and it's raw back there, excuse me, I can be home, so I can do what I need to do. But again, this is just an uplifting video to say that it may not be as bad as everyone says online. It's 2012, so everyone goes to blogs and Googles everything for what it might be like. But mine wasn't that bad. If that happens to change and it gets worse, I promise to blog. But it's been 9 days and it's been tolerable. I did cry one time in the middle. I woke up crying between this coughing and having a sore throat. It was too much. So I do think that that's going to happen to everyone. You get emotionally drained, because even though it's been manageable, your body's going, oh, I do have something else. I'm sorry. I read on the blogs that it's so cold now. I gotta get this thing a break. I read on the blogs that something that could happen after having a tonsillectomy is you could get a black hairy tongue, or a furry tongue. And so I didn't have bleeding. I did have the swelling, increased swelling. I had the restless sleep. I had all of that. And I got the hairy tongue. I thought it was just a coating on my tongue, because you don't eat, you're not drinking as much as you should. So I just thought that my tongue was telling me that I was dehydrated, and it was pushing for me to drink more. So the more I drink, the more uncomfortable my tongue became. So yesterday I finally took a good look at it, and there's fur on my tongue. I am going to show at the end my scabs and my tongue. I don't quite know what to do about that besides getting a scraper, so I'll get that later today when I leave out the house, because brushing just seemed as though I was brushing here on my tongue. Oh my gosh. It's not painful, it's just uncomfortable to have finally seen it and to now know what it is on my tongue, and it's rubbing up against the inside of my mouth. So that's that. So I'll end with opening up my mouth and showing you post tonsillectomy image. Thank you for your time, and I hope it was useful.